This video addresses peer review commenting strategies. If you have ever wondered, what in the world can I say as a reviewer? Or how can I offer helpful feedback? Then this video is for you. Our first strategy for reviewers is to ask questions as an interested reader. Careful readers ask a lot of questions. In fact, questions play a key role in peer review because they keep the conversation going between author and reviewer. Once you get the hang of it, you can think of all kinds of questions. How many times have you wanted to ask an author a question about what they've written? This is your chance. Another commenting strategy is to focus on global aspects before local aspects of the draft. So what are global and local aspects? Commenting on global aspects means focusing on the overall ideas in the draft. Global comments address things like organization, clarity of message, purpose, and audience. Global comments might address questions like, what is the central idea of the paper? Or, does the author appropriately address the audience? Or, how well has the author connected ideas in the paper? These global aspects are critical to the success of the paper. Local aspects address sentence level and paragraph level items like grammar, mechanics, and word usage. Sometimes writers refer to local aspects as proofreading. Mechanical items include things like spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. These items are easy to spot and mark. Grammatical items include sentence structure and subject-verb agreement. These errors may also be easy to spot, but they are not as easy to address. It's best to write a comment noting that the sentence does not make sense or suggesting that the author reword. We recommend that reviewers address global comments before local comments. Global comments are most crucial for the revision stage when authors can make big changes to content and organization. Local comments are most useful for the final editing stage when the paper is nearly completed and attention to detail is needed. Another strategy for reviewer comments is to use the language of assignment criteria. These criteria might be articulated on an assignment sheet, or they may be discussed in class as the instructor introduces an assignment. Criteria might include things like include accurate content, or support your thesis with evidence, or include proper documentation of sources you cite. The criteria will vary from assignment to assignment, so it's important to identify criteria for each assignment. Once you've identified assignment criteria, a good reviewer strategy is to directly address each criterion one by one. This way you can really practice the assignment language used by your instructor. Another commenting strategy involves constructive criticism. This strategy is especially important so that authors do not feel defeated by peer review comments. Think about your own writing and how you would feel if a reviewer responded negatively. The golden rule applies here. Comment on other drafts as you would like others to comment on your draft. Constructive criticism means turning negative comments into neutral observations with questions and directions for revision. Using I statements rather than you statements works well. Here are some examples. Instead of saying, your paragraph on the history of turfgrass industry doesn't make sense, you could say, I am having trouble understanding your paragraph on the history of turfgrass industry. Can you tell me what you're trying to convey in this paragraph? Instead of saying, you haven't addressed audience at all in your letter of transmittal, you could say, I do not get a strong sense of audience in your letter. Can you tell me who you are trying to address? And instead of saying, this section is really poorly organized, you could say, I don't understand the organization of this section. What is your main topic and how are you supporting it? Finally, another commenting strategy involves avoiding the sounds good comment. The problem with the sounds good comment is that it is often vague and does little to help an author with the process of revision. Instead of providing constructive feedback, reviewers might simply tell the author, your paper sounds good. Everything seems to be in place. Good job. To avoid the sounds good comment, write the comment plus a reason. For example, if you were commenting in a strong thesis statement, instead of saying, Your thesis statement sounds good. You might write, I like your thesis statement because it indicates a clear stance. I have a good understanding of your argument. Again, a good formula for commenting is comment plus reason. To review, this video has discussed a number of commenting strategies. First, ask questions as an interested reader. Second, focus on global aspects before local aspects. Third, use the language of assignment criteria. Fourth, offer constructive criticism and use I statements. And finally, avoid the sounds good comment and offer reasons for your positive comments. With these strategies in mind, you are ready to be a productive reviewer.